Yeah, how do you find your joy and what is your joy? Because honestly, in my sessions, most of my clients are told to find their joy, with the world in the state of affairs that it's in right now. And we're all just so stressed out and we're not uncertain about the upcoming events and what's going on. The one thing that always comes up in every session almost is be in the moment, be in the present time and find your joy, whatever brings you joy. And I know for me, a lot of my clients, I'll ask them, what is your joy? And I am so surprised how many people say, I don't know. I don't even know what makes me happy. So then I have clients go back to their childhood. What did you enjoy doing when you were a child? That's the best way to find your joy. Because when we were kids, we're so innocent and we just go have fun. And just Saturday, I did a workshop on shadow work. And the guy, I'm talking to him and asking him, I said, did you ever go to the park when you were a kid and just lay on the grass and roll down hills, or lay on the grass and look up in the clouds and see, figures in the cloud? I mean, for me, that was so fun to do. And so I said, try it sometime. As an adult, be a kid, go do the things that you used to love to do as a kid. So I know for me, my joy is creating videos, now as an adult. I love doing this work, and I love conversing with people and conversation. I love giving interviews. That brings me so much joy and so much satisfaction. And Saturday with my community here in Las Vegas, I had a pool party and a potluck. That brings me so much joy, just going and being with people of like minds. And I mean, honestly, it started at 1. We talked all day just about this kind of stuff. And then we got together at the end of the day. We did an amazing meditation, to help people connect with their higher self. And I mean, it was just incredible. That brings me so much joy. And so I think everybody just needs to find their joy. So what are some of your joys? So Mary, what's your joy?
Well, like you, Shay, I really love to be around like-minded people. So I established a once a month group gathering, not only with you guys, but with another group of members in my community. And we all seem to find each other, like attracts like. So that brings me great joy and a way to express myself. But I'd say, despite all the craziness that's going on in the world, there is an important aspect for me is linking with that sense of the inner self, the inner energy. And I do, Tai Chi for about 26 years now, and Qigong, and kind of that internal energy, and that it's sort of a bubbling, almost like champagne bubbles rising up. And so that internal energy brings me such great joy and bliss. And even despite all the craziness going on in the external world or in my, family life or community, I can always tap into that internal sense of joy. And it's just there. And if I do feel that it's starting to dip a little bit, I love to dance. Again, get together with my friends, with like-minded, and it just bolsters it, and it brings it back. And it's I have to stay mindful and be very aware, which maybe is a gift, because if that starts to go down and tank, it's like, okay, I've got to start bringing those aspects more present into my life, and it helps to serve and reinforce it. So I'd say it's that a really important connection for me is that internal energy that I feel.
How about you, Shahira?
I always ask my clients, what did you enjoy doing when you were little? Because most of them, or most of us growing up, we just forget. Like, okay, what exactly makes me have this feeling of joy? And in adulthood we can say, oh, I look at my kids and I feel, this sense of joy, and I love my job or whatever. But the answer always lies in the childhood. And my childhood, it was all about play. Go out and play in the outdoor. And until this moment, that brings me the joy in my life. I just go out and do something. Like I practice rowing, so that's my joy every day. Like being in the outdoors, being playing with my crew, and after we're done practice, we order breakfast. We started, doing games, and sometimes we do a little soccer match after that. And it's always about the play. It's always about having fun, carefree, not being the adult for a while, not being the one responsible, paying bills, the having responsibilities. Just do that, and get out of this timeline and go back, years ago when you enjoyed that moment. And I grew up in a world that we didn't have screens. So we had no cell phone, we have no mobiles, we have very limited time for video games. Like my parents would be like, okay, you have, couple of hours for video games and per week, and that's it. And after that, you just go out and practice sport. So that was this is my sense of joy. This is what brings me joy.
That's beautiful. Great. How about you, Jamie? What's your joy?
Oh, well, to much of what you said, Shay and Mary, of absolutely being around like-minded people and bringing people together, and being a facilitator in helping them remember who they are. So, and then, empowering them and giving them their own tools to be their own counsel. That's really uplifting to me. And you talked about champagne bubbles, I get tingles from that. When you just watch people have an aha moment, or have a realization, or discover how powerful we really are. So I love that. And I absolutely love nature. I love to garden. I always have a garden wherever I live. It was funny, I was telling a friend that every single place I've ever lived, I've always just built garden beds, and they're still there they're still there until this day, I'm sure. But I just love to garden and grow vegetables and do that. And then and then yeah, of course, being in nature and being on the water. Of course, I love a really good adventure. I have a really adventurous spirit, so I love to travel, and I love to just discover new places, new cities. Even just this adventure to New Orleans it feels really super exciting. And I love to sing. I really, really love to sing. Ever since I was a little kid, I always had a song stuck in my head, and I was always just singing. I would just sing to the trees and sing to the sky, and just constantly singing. So singing definitely elevates my mood and just changes my whole vibration in general. So to name a few, I can go on and on and on and on, but those are the big ones.
That's huge. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
How about you, Jessica?
So for me, it is definitely singing. So I love that, Jamie.
Nice.
We need to get together. Singing has always been a big part. That is my go-to for everything. I love singing. Can't play an instrument for my life, but I do. I grew up with my family sings, and so that was always just fun, getting together and just letting it all belt, So Jamie, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Do it. I'm in. Totally in.
I love it so much. And I love being bare feet. I am a barefoot girl. my feet are flat. They just love it. So I like being out in the grass. I love just being barefoot everywhere outside. And I am a stargazer. I love watching the stars. Where I am right now, there's no light pollution whatsoever. It's like trees and it's just quiet. It's like in the middle of the woods. And you see fireflies, like you could just see them covered in the trees. It is so beautiful. It's just so beautiful coming off the water. You can just see all of them. And then when you look up, stars, everything's just like bright and light. And I love the moon. I love bonfires outside. So yeah, those are just a couple of the little go-tos that I really enjoy. And good company, like you guys were saying as well. I love being around people that share that same energy. It's so beautiful when people like that get together and connect. Even this group, I was so excited today. I was like, oh, I get to see everybody. So it's always nice. So yeah, that's what brings me joy.
That's great. Well, thank you for sharing that. I love fireflies too. I grew up in Utah, and so there's no fireflies there. When I went back east, I was like so excited. I'm like, I was in my 30s before I ever saw one. And they did. They gave me so much joy. It just it's like beautiful. I loved it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Renee?
My turn. Okay. Well, I wish I could sing, but I can't. Honestly, yeah, right now what brings me joy is kids. I have nieces and nephews. I have a niece and nephew that are older now, and now I have a new set of nieces and nephews, and yet another nephew coming. So seeing how happy kids are, just carefree, I just love it, because everything else goes out the window. Who cares? There's no such thing as time. We're just playing and having fun, right? No good or bad, no judgment, no right or wrong. We're just having fun. So I watch my sister's kids a lot and help them out because, yeah, I have fun. Makes up for my own childhood. The other thing that really brings me joy is yoga. So being in my body, and I think it's also part of just my own healing journey, making sure I stay grounded and in my body, right? Understanding that, oh my God, I'm this beautiful physical being and I'm okay and I'm strong and resilient. And so having that yoga practice and breathing really helps me connect and just opens everything up. My energy is usually pretty like flowing out my hands by the time I'm done. And then it's hard to sleep if I do it at night, but yoga's been a really good practice for me. And the other thing I've been doing lately is sitting on my porch watching the clouds. So like you said, like a little kid, and as you said it, I realized, yeah, I did that a lot as a kid. I hung out in nature and it was just quiet and I could just ponder everything, right? Just ponder and enjoy the beauty. So yeah, there's my joy.
That's a beautiful joy.
Doing this work, like when I am in a session, I light up, right? It's flowing.
So joy, what makes me happy? I remember being a little girl. I spent most of my youth being around horses. I had one for myself for 10 years. And every day I couldn't wait to get out of school, to go on there on my bicycle and take care of that horse, saddle him, and go together into the woods and have a nice ride. The smell of the woods, the freedom that you feel, the wind blowing through your hair when you go high speed on a path, it's amazing. And I still miss that sometimes. What also makes me happy is, of course, being around my like-minded friends. Like yesterday, with a couple of friends, we went to a camping site where one of the girls stayed for holiday, and we chatted. We shared deep feelings, our fears. We trust each other with what's going on in our minds. We help each other and we listen to each other. And that gives me great joy. Doing things with them, having a drink somewhere, going somewhere to eat or do something fun together. That's what makes me happy, what gives me positive energy. And also doing secretive stuff. Yesterday we walked around on the camping site exploring the area there, what was all going around. And there was this glass greenhouse, and we looked inside and there was this magnificent fireplace made of steel plates with bicycle chains and a bolt and nuts. It all was welded together in a beautiful figure, and we wanted to see that up close. And there was this door was open, so we snuck in and we checked out the place. And of course, the other side the door was also open, so you could walk right in, and it was nothing forbidden or something. But the feeling that you have when you do something like that maybe isn't allowed, and you do it also, and you do it together, that makes a lot of fun. So we had a terrific day yesterday, and those are the moments that I really appreciate, that I value. What makes me more happy? Being in nature, going for hikes into the woods, or in Holland we don't have really mountains, but we have in the south of Holland hills. And then book a tour for 2 or 3 days with a friend and go hiking. You have your backpack and your lunch and your bottle of water and your route that you have to follow from point A to point B. Then have a hotel or Airbnb or whatever where you can stay and sleep and eat, and go the next day again en route with a paper with a new route, and exploring the countryside, having time with a friend to share that with, the view that you have, the things you walk, that you pass, and that's amazing. That kind of stuff that really makes me happy.